Hi, my name is Anthony Arnone. Thanks for joining us for Explore Brockport, where we see what the village has to offer. With me today is Erica Linden, Village Manager. Erica, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I've been with the village for the last 11 years, and as village manager, I work very closely with the mayor of the village of Brockport, and I oversee the day-to-day operations and all of our departments.
Awesome. So today we're out front of the Welcome Center. Can you tell me a little bit about what the Welcome Center has to offer to the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Welcome Center is open during the navigation season for the Erie Canal, so essentially May through October. And the Welcome Center has free bicycle borrowing program where if you leave an ID and sign a bike out, you can borrow it for the day. And we also have an adaptive kayak launch, so people of all abilities can use it and get into the water. And we have an on-demand kayak rental locker that has 4 kayaks with personal flotation devices, a paddle, and a kayak that you can take out for $25 for the first 2 hours, and then at a discounted rate, I believe $15 after that. And the village gets 50% of the proceeds, so that's helpful to us as well.
So I was out front looking at those. It looked like there's a QR code, right? So it's pretty easy to use and actually rent one of the kayaks?
Absolutely. Super simple. You just download the app, rent.fun. It's free to download, and then you can enter your payment information, and you just scan the locker that you want, and it pops open. It's run by solar panels. You can take out what you need, and then you can pull it down to the adaptive launch. Super easy to get out there. And when you bring it back, you put everything back in the locker, and it'll ask you to take a picture to close out your rental. So you then take that photograph and it'll say, oops, you forgot your life jacket. And you say, oh, I still have it on. Take it off, put it back in, upload a new photo, and it completes your rental, and you close the door.
Yep. So everything seems like it's self-service. You can grab the kayak, you can go out and do your own thing for X amount of hours. Are there people here that can help, though, if you have questions or like maybe you're not as experienced or anything along those lines?
So you can absolutely ask our volunteers staff the Welcome Center. So you never know what someone's comfort level or experience level might be with an activity like that, but they do have contact information for myself or our On the Canal's coordinator, Marlene Kane, who runs a lot of our excursions on the canal. So people could call and get more information. Rent.fun also has some quick tips, and you can go to their website and see a brief demonstration.
Cool. If I were to be clumsy, which I'm definitely not, and I was in the water and I tipped over, I would ideally not want my cell phone and personal belongings. Is there a place where someone can maybe leave those?
Great question. So first I would say I've been running excursions on the canal for the last 3 years. I've never had that happen.
No one's ever tipped over?
No one has ever tipped over.
I can't wait to be your
in
first.
my company. So I think you might be okay. We definitely recommend a dry bag or a Ziploc bag would do something similar to take your phone out with you. I do recommend keeping your phone just in case. But if you wanted to leave your belongings in the Welcome Center has their posted hours. Sometimes they vary throughout the season based on the navigation times when the lift bridges go up and down. The rental lockers are open essentially dawn to dusk. So, but if they're open, you could absolutely leave those belongings there with you. Otherwise, secure them in your car and put your cell phone in a Ziploc bag and put it in a zippered pocket or a pouch, and I think you'd be all right.
So it sounds like everything they need is here, though. Like they don't necessarily have to bring anything ahead of time, and everything you need for the kayak will be in those lockers?
Absolutely. Bring your sunscreen and a water bottle. That's what I would recommend.
So you mentioned the adaptive launch. Can you tell me a little bit about that and who people who might be interested in utilizing that?
Absolutely. So the adaptive kayak launch is right here at the Welcome Center, just a little bit to the east, closer to the Park Avenue Bridge than where we're sitting right now. It makes getting in and out of a kayak so easy, and it doesn't matter what your ability is, it will work for you. So if you have adaptive needs, there's actually a bench that's metal with a hand pull, and you can pull it out so that you can slide over the top of your kayak, and then there are there's a hand bar and some poles above you so that you can lower yourself into the kayak. And it's helpful for really people of all abilities. I myself much prefer to get in and out this way. The kayak sits in a cradle, so there's no tipping at all. You're on a completely solid surface. And so when you launch, you can put your paddle across your lap, and then there's railings. You just pull yourself with your arms through that cradle, and you're right into the water. And the same thing when you come back. You can angle yourself into that cradle, and if you get up enough speed, you'll be good. But you can use your hands to pull yourself back up into that cradle.
All self-service then as well? You can do it all on your own if you just come out one person for a solo kayak?
Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier that there are events and other excursions that the village actually leads. Can you tell me about those and how people can sign up?
Yes, so we're very fortunate. We've been receiving On the Canals funding from New York State, and we provide free kayak excursions in small groups. We have enough kayaks to take out between 10 and 12 people for each excursion. And although we do tend to do that in June and July and the early part of August, we're very happy to accommodate student groups. So if there are students interested at the university or even staff who would like to get out and do a team building exercise and be on the water, we'd be happy to create an event for you. October, September, those would be great times to be out in the water, and we absolutely could do that. So we do these excursions with Rochester Accessible Adventures, and they bring out adaptive equipment. So if someone had, say, a left-handed weakness or a particular leg weakness, we can adapt the equipment to make it useful for everyone to be out there, and you can be out with your group of friends. We also do biking that way as well. So we'll use the Welcome Center bikes, and they bring out adaptive biking equipment for folks.
So can you tell me a little bit about the bikes then?
Sure.
Just the process behind them, what people can expect for when they come out and borrow them, and when they should bring them back?
Absolutely. So our bicycles are available for borrowing for free. You do need to leave a valid ID of some kind with our volunteers, and you have to sign it out. And they'll let you know what the return time is for that day. Usually it's a half an hour before the Welcome Center closes. So right now that's 5:30 because the center closes at 6. And we just want to make sure all the equipment is back in. There are bicycles, so for people who maybe are going to get groceries or do a little shopping somewhere, they have a way of transporting that. And there are bicycle helmets up in the Welcome Center. Over the age of 14, it's not legally required, but we do have them for adults and children.
Is there any limit? Could someone essentially rent out a bike every day if they want, and as long as they're following the procedures?
Absolutely. If they're following the procedures, we would welcome them. Absolutely.
Are there other services you guys offer? I know you said that the Welcome Center itself operates during the navigation season. Is there anything outside of that window of time?
Yes, so we actually offer snowshoeing excursions in the winter, and if we don't have snow, we still do hiking excursions, and all these excursions can be found on Eventbrite, so if students were to look for Brockport and sign up for those notifications, they can sign up there to get a free ticket. So we do snowshoeing, and really we head from this Welcome Center towards the college, and we go towards Redmond Road, and we also have plein air painting that we offer for free, again, through Eventbrite, and we have one coming up on September 7th. We might have some more in the fall, and we're doing birding excursions as well. So we have binoculars and monoculars, and we do guided excursions from Corbett Park, but it's really all part of the same activity.
You said plein air painting?
Yes.
What is that for people who might not know?
Sure, Plein. I just learned how to pronounce that recently myself, but it's really painting outside. So it's learning how to use oils and working with a professional artist, Sarah Hart, here at Hart Gallery 27, does this with French box easels. And she teaches people how to use the easels, and she teaches them about the paints and how to clean and what the color palette, basic color palette would mean. And then she brings them out here on the canal to experience this and try to paint their surroundings.
I was going to ask, so they're painting kind of what they're seeing that day?
Absolutely, yes. That weather, that lighting, that particular environment.
Any other activities you want to mention? So
this year we are fortunate enough to use some of this On the Canals funding to bring out Sam Patch from Cornhill Navigation. And Sam Patch will be out here when students are back, September, I believe, 18th through the 22nd. I think the poster's right behind me. But we're offering some free excursions, and then, of course, there are excursions that are pay as well. Yep. But it's unusual for us to have a passenger boat available to the Brockport community. So we're really excited to have it here.
So Sam Patch is a passenger boat.
Yeah.
How far does that travel if you were to go on one of those?
That's a great question. It's a 2-hour excursion, and I believe they head west toward Holly. But I think that's about as far as they go. It travels at about 5 miles per hour. It's a slow experience, but I think a really neat way to experience Brockport as in its historic nature, as well as how we have come to recreate on it today. There are always volunteer opportunities as well at the Welcome Center. I've had 2 students, social work students actually, come and do volunteer work. Even though the overlap between the navigation season and the typical traditional college year is very small, we've been fortunate to have them and have new ideas come out of their participation. So we welcome anybody who'd like to maybe have an intergenerational experience or learn a little bit more about Brockport, see the lift bridges go up and down, and greet our tourists here on the canal. It's a great volunteer opportunity.
Great. I saw online that you guys offer services for camping. Can you talk a little bit about what goes into that and what people should maybe bring ahead of time?
Absolutely. So Harvester Park, it is small, but it is right here at our Welcome Center, and it's open for camping. We do have a few picnic tables and charcoal grills. And if you're camping overnight, there's a $5 key fee, and that will give you access to our bathroom and our shower facilities. And for bicyclists, also a lot of times who are traveling through, they like to use our laundry facilities. So that's something that could also be accessible. Would you want to bring your tent and any waterproof barrier you might need and your food supplies? So, and then you could have the bathroom facilities available to you and this nice shady area that's waterfront property.
A couple times now we've mentioned that there is a Village app that's used for a lot of these services. How can students go about getting the app and using it?
Thank you for asking. It would be fantastic if all students would download this free app. It's on all the app stores. It's called My Brockport Village, and it's a notification system. So it will alert students of events or activities in the village, and we really only post things that are free or available to them. So it would be terrific if students who are interested in participating in village events, festivals, celebrations, sometimes we have concerts right here on the waterfront, that would be the best, fastest way for them to know what's going on. We also use it as an emergency alert system. We've only ever had to use it that way once, but it also tells you how we close roads for paving or if there's a change in parking restrictions for some reason or another. So it would be very helpful all the way around.
If a student could only take part in one event or activity that you guys offer, what would you say would be the one event or activity that you'd want them to do in their 4 years here before they graduate?
That's a hard one. A lot of our big activities happen when students are off campus, and that makes me sad. But we do have the Holiday of Lights parade, so that happens the first Sunday in December, and students are still here for that. And generally, I know the student government has a float, and we would welcome more student participation. We would love that. And I think the best thing for students to do while they're here in the 4 years is to come down to the Erie Canal and see how a lift bridge operates and see what it actually means to be the only university in the entire state of New York that's on the Erie Canal system.
Thanks for meeting with me today, Erica. I appreciate it. For anyone interested in seeing what the Village has to offer, make sure to check out the My Brockport Village app. You can also visit their website for more information, or just head right down to the Welcome Center in Harvester Park.